Let's recap who's in the room. Producer Neil.
Good afternoon.
Andy Parsons.
An eye for an eye.
If you haven't been listening, that is going to sound like the most unlikely moment of radio in a long time. But that's Andy Parsons' Nick Knowles impression.
Yes.
And James Acaster.
Hello.
Not going to do Nick Knowles?
I haven't got one. I haven't got a Nick Knowles impression. I liked the track though.
Did you?
Yeah. I think in his head he sounds like Tom Waits. That's what I like about it. It's really nice, and I like the photo you showed me of him tuning the guitar.
Yeah, his. If you want to see what Nick Knowles looks like when he's performing music, go onto his Twitter because his pictures of him tuning a guitar while wearing
He couldn't be bothered to put the choir in the photo, could he?
No,
just him.
Just him. It's all about him.
And
That's the problem.
a little hat.
Yeah,
like
and kind
he's
of
been
Cook's
part of
hat.
7.5 weeks or whatever it is.
How are you, James?
Very well, thank you, Josh.
Yeah.
Very well, thanks. Yeah.
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 Any news on Wakefield?
Yeah, loads of news.
From last week,
I mean, maybe
James
people should
recorded
be.
Nevermind the Buzzcocks and made friends with Pop Music's Wigfield on Facebook.
Just a bit.
And and it was going well? The
Been going very well. Recap is that I tried to do the Saturday night dance tour and I got it wrong. I did the Macarena and I was fully aware of it, and I was prepared for the tweets that I got on the on the night of the broadcast. A lot of people picking me up on doing the wrong dance, but Wigfield, aka Sanny Carlson, which is her real name.
Hey, that's when you're on the inside.
Yeah.
That's when you know her.
Yeah.
Sanny.
Can I just say, Neil's brother brought up that perhaps it's a fake Wigfield account on Facebook because it's only got 46 friends.
Yeah, right. Let me respond to that. Neil's brother, if you're listening, which apparently you do listen, and you're quite a nitpicker. Listen, mate. Wigfield and me, we became friends before it was even broadcast on Facebook. So that means whoever made friends with me would have had to find out that I was on Buzzcocks, know that I had made friends with Wigfield in person, then set up the account, quickly added 45 other friends, then waited for me to add her, and then spoke about the exact things that happened on that night. Bottom line is, Sanny Carlson doesn't just let anyone in. I'm one of the 46.
So, take me through the week's updates.
Well, the main we've had like a few little. We like each other's stuff a lot. She does a lot of the time. Whenever I've done a status update, Sanny likes it. But what she said to me about the dance, she said, couldn't have done a better job myself.
That's it.
Oh,
Doing
there
the
you
wrong
go.
dance. Couldn't have done the wrong dance better.
Yeah, she couldn't have done it. So, and then she says, and she's done a thumbs up, but not like a like thing, an actual kind of cartoon picture of a thumbs up that she's inserted in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then she said, had a good laugh this morning, and then a picture of a cat crying with laughter.
She's got quite a lot of time on her hands.
Yeah. She's not been up to much.
So, how do you know the cat's crying with laughter?
Well, she said
She didn't have a good laugh this morning at a crying cat. Maybe she's like...
Oh yeah, she might. Wigfield might be a lot more
there might be a darker side to
sadistic than we think. She's trying to.
I had a good laugh this morning, made my cat unhappy.
That's why she's got so few friends on Facebook. I'm making more cats cry again, Sanny. That's out of order.
So are you going to continue it?
Yeah, definitely. What should be the next step? What should I?
Well, maybe we should solicit for readers' views on what James is next to.
There's lots of dances that you could get wrong.
Plenty.
Go and do the lambada wrong for her.
I could dance.
Why don't you tweet her now or whatever and say, do you fancy meeting up for a drink?
She lives in Denmark.
Or maybe
I'll pay for your airfare. No, I won't.
Maybe try and suss her out and maybe just show just tease a cat slightly and then send her the video and see if she puts the big thumb up on that one.
It's me ridiculing a cat.
Yeah, why don't you send her a message said I saw a cat with its head caught in a fence earlier.
Yeah.
Lol. And then
and then what if she says, oh no, that's awful. I have to make out that LOL stands for lovely old Lucifer. I'll make out that that's what the cat was called. Lucifer, that's an awful name for a cat. Who would call? Why was that the first name? I thought Lucifer.
That's the reason it's got his head stuck in his head.
Yeah.
Well, I think
saying lovely old Lucifer to people. That's the worst phrase to go about and say it ever.
Just worshipping the devil. Lol.
Yeah.
Josh Widdicombe Podcast XFM.
XFM, that is the Smiths, and it is Josh Widdicombe, still joined by producer Neil.
Hello.
Andy Parsons. building your parts slowly. That started as a short sound, and then it's getting longer and longer throughout the show. James?
Yeah.
Acaster?
Yeah.
Yeah? Bit too short, if anything.
Quite Danish. Sounded a little Danish.
I'm getting quite Danish now. I'm really into Midsummer Murders. And did you know? That's sorry, you guys don't know because you're not friends with Wigfield on Facebook. But Midsummer Murders is one of the most popular programs in Denmark.
Oh, we're all enjoying your knitted sweater today as well. Yeah. You look great.
They're making a Midsummer Murders.
Put your Lego away.
They're making a film, you know.
Midsummer Murders?
Yeah, John Nettles has gone over to Denmark. They're doing a film.
It's popular over here as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but not that no one wants to watch a film of it.
Did you talk to her about this? Or have you just been doing your Denmark research?
Just been researching it so I can chat to her a bit more. I could Facebook her and say, are you excited about the Midsummer Murders movie?
Right, let's move on. It's getting a bit freaky. No, but we are actually on that topic in a way, talking today about your worst experiences with pen pals or exchange students. Have you had any of these experiences, James?
We had pen pal when I was in primary school. The whole school, the whole class had. We were all pen pals with another class of kids across the country. And
what? Not outside the country?
Not outside the country.
So Kettering to
in England.
Couldn't afford a stamp.
Yeah,
So where were they?
Probably Leicester.
You can't remember?
Can't really remember, but I think not far away because we visited them once, and it didn't take long. Didn't take long to get there, so round the corner probably.
So you'd go, what's it like over there? And they go,
I just tell them about my life, what I was up to,
learn a new language. That's all.
Yeah. I just draw. I used to talk about my pets. I had a lot of pets as a kid.
Yeah, crying cat, that kind of thing.
Yeah, crying cats and stuff. And then Lucifer, and then I'd draw little pictures of my pets and then send them over to this kid, and then we all went over to meet up with their class, and I didn't get on with him. We didn't click at all. It's really awkward.
Had you clicked via pen and paper?
I thought we had something, you know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this guy's going to be my friend. He seems to enjoy my cartoons, but I think it's just being polite. I think this teacher was like, you've got to write back to him, say that you liked the cartoons, ask him some more about his pets. And then when I went there, we just didn't have anything in common at all. But his best friend is in real life. He was pretty cool, got on with him. And then my best friend, Joe Devlin, he got on with my pen pal.
So you swapped?
Well, we tried to negotiate a swap. And the teacher wasn't having any of it. We went up to my teacher and we said, we're wondering if we could trade pen pals because we're not really getting on.
Well, what did the teacher say?
She said, that's not the idea of coming over here. You're supposed to be, you've been writing to each other. How do you think they're going to feel about this? Think about other people's feelings. And we were like, well, we're pretty sure they feel the same way. Should be okay. She was like, no, there's no way we're doing that. Then everyone will start swapping. So if you start swapping, everyone's going to want to swap pen pals.
It's going to be like an orgy, a pen pal.
Yeah.
Why don't you all just put your pens in a bowl and then pull out a pen and that's your new pen pal?
In the end, we all just swapped and I ended up pen pals with a kid in my own class anyway. So.
You're pen pals with kids in your own class?
It's a poor thing that's gone on there, isn't it? Having to write to somebody, but you could just wave or make a sound. But no, I'll write them a little cat.
Draw a little picture of a cat crying.
And so did you... I've got actually on this pen pal thing, because this came up earlier, a question. On your local TV during the local weather, because I need to get to the bottom of this, at the end of the weather, did they have like a drawing by a child that had been sent in?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
But don't forget, we probably had the same weather, didn't we?
Oh, West Country.
West Country, yeah. You probably grew up with Gus Honeybun, did you?
I did grow up with Gus Honeybun. If you don't know what Gus Honeybun is...
Gus Honeybun?
Here we go, right. If you don't know what Gus Honeybun is, Gus Honeybun
He used to live in a shed, didn't he? That's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's the main thing about it. He used to... So he was a rabbit on a stick, a stuffed rabbit on a stick, and there'd be an anchor who would read out how old... So they go, Katie has written in, she's 10 today. Can we have 10 bunny hops from Gus Honeybun?
He was good at the bunny hops.
He was good at and then he'd hit a mushroom as well, wouldn't he?
Well, I don't really remember the mushroom.
Hit a mushroom?
Not in a drugs way.
Josh's own little mind. I don't remember the mushroom.
There was a mushroom he pressed and it would change the backdrop.
Oh, that was good.
See, I told you.
The backdrop change. I didn't remember it was a mushroom.
Yeah, so,
and he used to have a rainbow if you were really good, you got the rainbow backdrop.
Is that right?
Yeah.
See,
a special one.
If we'd had pen pals in Kettering, where James is from, this is what we'd have talked about different cultures.
I would have thought you were lying. You're sending me pen pal letters going, yep, watched Gus Honeybun today. He did 10 little jumps because it was my 10th birthday, and then he jumped on a mushroom and the background changed.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that's your weather, is it? You're all watching the weather in the West Country, loving it.
TV has changed, hasn't it? You don't get that anymore.
But the ratings he must have got, unbelievable, through the roof. If you remember Gus Honeybun or any... So the next week, Neil, note this down.
Yeah.
It's got to be strange things you think only your local TV did.
Okay.
We'll start that now, but it'll go on into next week. So text us, 83936, or tweet us at XFM. Is that okay with you, Neil?
Perfect.
Perfect. That's given us the week off. This is XFM.
Josh Widdicombe.
XFM. We were talking, we just need to do an update here, because we were talking about myself and Andy Parsons. Hello, Andy.
Hello there.
Hello. Yeah, that's it. There you go. Sounded like you were doing an Andy Parsons impression then. We haven't got time for all this. We are doing...
Let's talk about Gus Honeybun.
We need to talk about Gus Honeybun. We didn't know if there was a thing... Gus Honeybun, to recap, was the thing me and Andy remembered from West Country Television, who was a rabbit, toy rabbit, who would hop up and down depending on how old you were, essentially. And we mentioned it. Twitter has gone electric. So it did exist. Let's go through them. Can't remember. This is from Zero, near Exeter. Can't remember how old I was, but I remember getting my name read out by Gus Honeybun. I was so made up when I heard my name. I wonder if anyone knows what happened to him.
Bitter, walking the streets of Exeter, going, seeing other animals on the TV going, it could have been me.
Trying to get in the clubs, having to hop out his age before he gets in.
Gus Honeybun was a legend for Plymouth Uni students, says Alan Dupre in Manchester. Gus Honeybun, I totally forgot he existed. The trauma of not having your card read out or being read out when you're older and thought you were cool. Oh, the joys. Kim from Plymouth. In brackets now, Putney, close brackets.
You
Social mover.
You should have not read out that email. Make it feel even more.
Hop up and down, see how old Kim is now. This is my favourite. This is from Tammy. I'm from Devon and I met Gus. Wow.
First name terms.
He did it. Yeah. Friends on Facebook. It's like you're Wakefield.
Mr. Honeybun to you?
He did a PA at my school. I got 7 bunny hops and a lolly. You can put Gus Honeybun into YouTube if you want to see what it is like, because we've tweeted it, haven't we, Neil?
Yeah.
It's one of the most absurd things I've ever seen. And on rabbits and exchange students, let's end this link by saying from Jake Clark. I had a strange German boy with long hair called Lucas who stayed for a week. I released my pet rabbit into the wild.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
And now we come to the point in the show which a lot of people's weekends build towards. It's James Acaster's classic scrape.
Thank you, Josh. Archive
from the archives.
From the archives today.
No scrapes this week.
Yeah, no scrapes. I've had a scrape-free week. Just been chatting at Wigfield non-stop, so there's been no time for scrapes. But this is, I'd say, 7 years old in the Cubs.
Yeah,
in the Cubs.
You were 7 years old. This scrape's not 7 years old.
Yeah, this is a 7-year-old scrape.
You were in the Cubs 7 years ago?
Yeah. I took a very long... I wouldn't leave until I got all the badges. That was I'll stand by that. I just got enrolled in the Scouts this week, and I'm delighted.
So you're a 7-year-old in the Cubs.
7-year-old in the Cubs. I was in the Scouts till I was 15. I think you're aware of that. Wasn't as much. We didn't have Gus Honeybun and Kettering, so we had to make our own entertainment. Go to Scouts until we were 15. But we had to do a performance for the mums and dads, which was like a circus themed performance.
Yeah.
And we were all going to be different circus performers, and I volunteered to be a juggler.
Safe option.
Yeah, they said, who can juggle? I'll put my hands up.
You'd missed out on Lion Tamer.
Yeah, well, Lion Tamer had gone. There was a Lion Tamer and Lion. So someone else had to dress up as a lion, and there's a Lion Tamer. There was
a chair that they had to hold.
Tightrope walker, which was a kid walking along a bench. Surrounded by amateurs.
Great show.
Yeah.
Did you tour it?
Yeah. It was a clumsy kid, so it was still quite
quite edgy to see.
We'd all seen him fall off a bench before, so it was quite tense. I volunteered as juggler, telling them I could juggle really well. Never juggled before in my life. Never done it ever.
Yeah. Why did you?
There's a juggling badge. What did you?
Yeah. Well, this is 2 birds, 1 stone. perform in the circus show, get the badge. Well, this is why I thought my dad can teach me.
Yeah.
My dad, he's a smart guy. He can teach me. Good chance for some bonding.
Yeah.
And so I said to my dad...
You're quite a strange child.
Yeah. I was always trying to think of ways to bond with my father.
It's very distant, my father.
Yeah. Come up to him with that's like a different hobby that I want to start. And I said, can you teach me how to juggle, Dad? And he went, yeah, because I'm not the only liar in the family. So, I bought a pack of juggling balls with my own pocket money. 3 juggling balls. I came home, and the first thing he did in the lesson was he opened up the packet and he took one of the juggling balls, he threw it over his shoulder and went, don't need that one. Which you do need it. If there's any jugglers listening who are getting furious at my dad's, I'm aware you do need all 3 balls. That's not. But I thought
disappointed if you see the 2-ball juggler, aren't you? You go no. Yeah. 2-ball juggler obviously sounds a bit different now.
I thought though, because he threw it, because we don't need it. I took his work. I admired that man so much at the age of 7. So I thought,
you thought this is a chance to bond.
I thought that's.
I've just got this mental image of your dad with 2 juggling balls, chucking one up and the other up, and going, "There you go, son.
Yeah.
No problems.
Now leave me alone. Stop trying to bond with me. You know I don't like it.
I only see you at weekends."
But it was. I thought that was a spare ball. I thought that's a spare one. Because I'm chucking him around a lot. I was like, there's a lot of potential to lose a juggling ball. So that's probably a spare one. We'll come to that. If I lose one, that one's in the over on the sofa. You throw it away. But this is how he taught me to juggle. Andy's not far off. But how the juggling technique. It was so ball in each hand. Chuck the one in your left hand. Chuck that in the air. While it's in the air, pass the one in your right hand over. So don't let go of it. Just move your hand over and put it in your left hand. Move your right hand back and catch the ball that you throw in the air. Then do it again. And so just doing that constantly. The
kid on the bench is now sounding like a...
He was laughing at me. He was there looking through the window, balancing on his bench. Hey, Caster, that is so lame. But, and I nailed the technique in about 10 seconds.
Well done.
10 seconds, I was like, I'm a natural. I'm going to tear up the Cub Scout circus show like nobody's business. And then, it came to, the night of the performance, and there was this little backstage area in the church rooms. Yeah. We were all there in our costumes, and I had a little waistcoat on, because I was a juggler. and
2 balls, 1 waistcoat.
Yeah, but then there's Matthew as well, who was also going to do juggling. There was 2 jugglers in the Cub Scout circus show, and Matthew had a waistcoat on. He had 3 balls in his hand, and I genuinely at the time thought, he's bought the spare ball. You are gonna be all over the shop with that. Matthew, you're about to go out there and juggle the spare ball in front of everyone. Nice one, mate. There's 5 tyres on your car. But he went out. And then the Cub leader went out, Arcala, dressed as a ringmaster, first one out, and was getting the crowd revved up into a frenzy.
It's a warm-up.
Come on, you want Cubs? I've got Cubs. Really excited them all.
You're not allowed to say that.
He did have Cubs. He bought some, so they all went out with the clown stuff, and then he brought out the
Who wants Cubs? Shout out now.
Who came here to see some Cubs? Yeah. So we'll do it. But
your parents there?
My dad was there. Yeah.
Oh, he's proud moment.
Mum.
Taught him all he knew.
Mum, nothing to do with it. She's like, David, I'm not having it. It's another one of your harebrained schemes. Sending James out doing 2-ball juggling. But he announced us really big voice. He said the juggle laws. I'll never forget that.
The juggle laws.
He had added an extra syllable in there. The juggle laws.
Oh right.
A real boom, boom. And then we both marched out, and then Matthew was on the right, was working the right hand side of the crowd, and I was left hand side. That was
you weren't working it.
I thought I was working it because to begin with they were stunned.
He's forgotten a ball.
They were staring at me like, this kid, and I was like, yeah, that one lesson, doing my throwing pass technique, and I looked over at Matthew, and he was doing a thing where he was kicking his legs really high in the air while juggling. So he was but throwing them underneath his legs and doing it like he'd run away with the circus and then come back It's like Mowgli in the Jungle Book when he was juggling with Baloo, and he was doing that, and like he did this big finale where he kind of threw all 3 balls in the air and then caught them like one after the other, and then bowed and incorporated the last catch with a bow. And then
How old was he?
He was my age. He was 7.
Unbelievable.
7 years old. Like, amazing juggler.
Yeah.
But also, I should have known this would be good because the club leader didn't say who wants to be a juggler and then he put his hand up. He said Matthew will be a juggler and then who else. So I should have known he's probably
His
quite
dad
good.
was the great Serpendo. He had an advantage.
But, he bowed and they erupted into applause.
Yeah.
Really, really applauded.
Were you still going at this point?
No, I'd stopped to watch. Also, when he bowed, one of the kids who was dressed as a lion jumped out from behind this. There's a cardboard cannon in the middle, and he jumped out from behind that and just pointed at Matthew with both hands, and just carried on pointing at him and biting his bottom lip like it was like because of how good he was. And then like there's one parent looking at me in the audience. That was my dad. Looking at me from the back of the room, he just extended his arm and just giving me a thumbs up and nodding. Like, yeah, we did it.
That is amazing. Oh, so did your dad know that? When did you tell your dad that it had all gone wrong?
Pretty much straight after. I went, what did you send me into that for? And he went, you wanted to learn juggling in a week, James. It's the best I could do. I didn't want to tell you that wasn't juggling.
Oh, poor old David Acaster. He gets so much stick, doesn't he?
He does get a lot.
Well, that is a classic scrape from the archives. I mean, it's great one. One of my favourites.
What a sad little boy.
What a sad little boy, but at least if Matthew is listening, it's unlikely, but if text in, say you've become a juggler, and then it'll all be all right.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I just can't believe how good he was at the age of 7.
It's amazing. Amazing.
Can you just for listeners at home, Andy's just pointed at James like they all used to point at Matthew, just
And the lion.
Yeah.
just to rub it
in a
in.
lion outfit.
Josh Widdicombe. Podcast. XFM.
Before we go, a few things to tie up. Earlier on, we were discussing sheds for slightly too long. Maybe
We got overexcited for a whole hour, didn't we?
a whole hour of shed stuff. And someone tweeted #shed-related anecdote, and then we said, let's see if we can get that trending. And we failed. But what we did do...
Gus Honeybun is now gone big.
What we have done is, let's read out some of the tweets that have got the #shed-related anecdote. We said, don't write about sheds, just write what you want and then put that on the end. Off to Hammersmith to do some shopping, #shed-related anecdote. Just mopping the bathroom floor with no top on, #shed-related anecdote. This is my favourite. Loving Edith Bowman on BBC 6 Music this morning, #shed-related anecdote. Neil, you've tweeted, just joining in, #shed-related anecdote. I'm not going to keep saying it. I'm watching Paul Hollywood go mental on dough, #shed-related anecdote. Underwhelmed by Battersea Bridge, #shed-related anecdote. Loving the last full day of London Radio, well, that's actually a good one. I will carry on with that. Dining walls prepped and ready to paint. Just as soon as the spider leaves, #shed-related anecdote. And
Some cracking Saturday mornings going on.
Yeah.
my favourite, though, I think we should leave is, do not understand this hashtag at all, #shed-related anecdote. As always, for the final hour, James Acaster, good morning.
Good morning, Josh.
And still joined by Tom Crane.
Hello.
I'm producer Neil.
Morning.
We're all hanging out, chilling.
I drank this tea so fast.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, it's good tea, mate. Made it for you.
Secret ingredient is love.
It's not. It's a tea bag. Yeah, some hot water.
Craig's been peeking in the kitchen while you've been making this.
Anyway, we're talking about a couple of things this morning, James.
Right.
Number one, this came up last week with our discussion about Gus Honeybun. So I wonder whether you've already... Did your local TV have any quirks or weird things to it when you were growing up?
Not Catman TV, very...
What was your area?
East Anglia. So we had Look East on the news and stuff like that. We had very little things that were exciting.
Did you have any presenters of note that went on to anything? Or...
Absolutely not. all of them, I think, now are working at the Kevin branch of Sainsbury's, and no, not really doing much. I mean, my family got on the news once because we went. But everyone. It was there was a new shoe factory opening in
A new shoe factory?
Yeah, a new one.
How many were there?
Well, there was
Northampton.
Yeah,
Quite a lot.
Northampton, the cobblers,
Yeah.
mate.
Cobblers.
But we had a new one opening in Kettering, and Prince Philip came down to open it. But yeah, he said something to my sister. I can't remember what it was. She was like, 5 at the time. My dad maintains it was out of order. I can remember watching it back on the news, excited. But I don't remember actually seeing Prince Philip. I remember turning up at the shoe factory, and I remember watching it on the news. But I don't remember.
I wonder if there'll be footage somewhere.
It could be a little
Prince Philip making an ill-judged comment to your 5-year-old sister.
Yeah.
Now, the other topic we are talking about was prom mishaps.
Yeah, I had a prom, and I was one of the kids in school who was into Nirvana and such. So
of course.
To me, the prom was absolute tosh. I was like, this prom is nonsense. I hate the prom. And there was a prom committee, which was just about 10 of the more popular children in the year, so obviously we all thought that was total tosh as well. And
Maybe it would have been cooler if you hadn't been using the word tosh.
Yeah.
Until somehow they managed to land the Foo Fighters.
This be tosh. But basically, we said to one of the girls, Charlotte Rowe, who was on the committee.
There was a girl at my school called Charlotte Rowe.
Oh, really? Well, Charlotte Rowe was a very nice person, still is. If you're listening, Charlotte, congratulations on your upstanding moral fibre. But she, we complained to her, said this prom is rubbish, we're not going to go to this prom, me and my friends.
What did you dislike about the prom?
It was all going to be music we didn't like, it's just stuff we weren't into. Also, we all knew fully well we weren't going to get dates. So, we were in advance saying that the prom was rubbish. And, she was like, well, what music would you like? And she was like, and we were all in a band at the time. We said, kind of music our band plays. And she went, okay. And then she came back next day and said, your band's playing at the prom. Sorted it out.
Wow.
Playing at the prom, it's sorted. And so we
what was your band called?
See, this is the thing, right? the lead singer was another girl. She named the band.
Right.
We didn't see this coming, the rest of us. It completely got in the radar. She named it Charlotte's Own. Turned out it was a jab at Charlotte Rowe.
Oh!
As in a thing this girl thinks she owns everything because she's so popular,
Oh, my
right?
word.
And then obviously Charlotte got very upset because she had been
understandably
the
so,
main
yeah.
person who got us on the bill.
So she put good Charlotte.
That's what I say. I really think it was the way it resolved. You then got on and they changed the name.
We all read Charlotte's Web.
Amazing. We had a barn dance once a year. This is true.
Oh gosh.
Where my imaginary blues play.
Well, I think that should draw a line on the whole thing. This is XFM.
Josh Widdicombe Podcast XFM.
For those wondering whether Tom Crane is an eligible bachelor, would you like to tell me, James and Neil and the listeners what job you've just landed? Because it makes me laugh so much.
I can't say the magazine, but a very, very well-known magazine.
If you were to think a woman's magazine that would perhaps be read by people from Sex and the City or people like that.
We're going to be their single man in the city, their dating expert. You look like you've just seen a ghost.
Words fail me.
What?
Yeah, so I'm going to be taking you through the trials and tribulations of dating and showing, giving my advice on what I think about love.
I hope they're giving their sub-editor a bonus.
Well, I'll be giving them a bonus. She'll be giving me a bit, you can get the idea. So
That's how you got
that's
the
something
job.
that won't make print, but yeah.
I could not. Your agent is good. Whoever you got representing you at the minute, Crane, is a magician.
To give you an idea, to give us an idea, Crane.
Yeah.
What? Give me a recent dating anecdote that would show why you're such a good dater.
Okay, what's a bad one? Okay, a while back, how about this? I went on a date with a girl, and I get quite tired, and before I have something, when I'm worried about something, I seem to go a bit drowsy, like before gigs, and I stretch, I touch my toes, and I do this sort of business. And I was touching my toes and limbering up as she came around the corner of the date. Nothing says, I'm going to get lucky, like touching your toes before a gig.
Looking at yourself in the mirror.
But
we're going to do this, come on.
But I didn't see her for a while, so I was limbering up for a good 10 seconds. She was just watching me stretch as I got ready.
How did the date go?
It was weird from the off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of. I don't know. It's too much pressure.
Put it this way, he didn't pull a muscle.
Yeah, so
that could mean anything. So Britain's number one single.
Yeah, exactly. At Tom Crayon.
Astonishing, just astonishing.
Astonishing.
I mean, what are you going to...
I can teach you a thing or two.
What's your first article?
The first one was on playing hard to get.
Oh, you're very good at that.
Yeah.
Josh Widdicombe Podcast. XFM.
That was Florence and the Machine on XFM, and now we come to that point in the show. It is James Acaster's classic scrape. Pray silence.
So I was doing some stretches, and a lady... I actually was doing stretches in this story, funnily enough, at one point. It's because it's been me playing badminton. I play badminton every week with my friend Sam, who's infinitely better than me, and always beats me.
Yeah.
And this week we were playing against each other, and there was two ladies on the court next to us. Oh, Crane.
Here we go. Now my ears perk up. Talking my language.
Snake and an apple.
They were playing as well. And one of the ladies just walked over to us and just went, doubles. Like, but not even like, do you want to play doubles? She just went, doubles. You versus us.
And had you noticed if they were any good?
Yeah, they were awful. Okay. I looked over at them and they were worse than us.
Yeah.
Sam's good. Sam used to play squash for the county. So they just came over and she said, doubles. You boys versus girls. Okay, fine. And we started playing, and about 2 minutes into the game, two men walked in and looked at us just agog. Wow. Couldn't believe, and I was like, I'm really impressed at how much we're thrashing these girls. And then one of the guys looked over at one of the women and went, what's this? What's going on?
Oh my word.
And she was like, you were late. If you're late, this is what happens.
Oh!
We fight some other men.
Oh,
and they play with us.
So what were these men? What did they look like?
Josh, they were a lot stronger than us. They looked pretty gangster. I'm not going to lie. They were about...
pretty gangster. They were playing badminton.
Yeah, they still... But yeah, I tell you what, they had, one of them had like the kind of like... You know, it's going a full beard, but then like shaved patterns into it. Like in the cheeks and stuff. Like it was a little maze.
Like a picture of a shuttlecock.
Yeah, two shuttlecocks on each cheek.
The other one, him punching a rival to death.
Yeah. The one of like no one steps on my doubles territory written on his chin.
So he came in.
Well, two of them. There's two guys, and so the women went. You know what happens if you don't turn up? We find other men to play with. Which, by the way, me and my friend Sam do not look like other men as well. And also, I like to point out that when I go to badminton, there's a little kid there who bullies me. Who is
you've never been lamer.
Yeah, there's a child who is about, I don't know, I think if he's in school, he's 6 at the tops. And he's a little kid who, every time I'm in the changing room's always empty when I go in there, and basically, it's like he knows that I'm about to put my shorts on, and then I hear him giggling up the corridor, and I know he's about to rush in to try and catch me putting my shorts on. You always have two mates of him, and so I have to really quickly pull my shorts up so that I'm decent, and then he'll run in and really laugh hysterically with his friends, and then it will laugh, but he proper laughs like he rolls about on the floor on his back.
What's wrong with your pants?
I want a little kid to see me in my pants. I think someone has updated him as to what grown adults are scared of now. And he knows if we ambush a grown man in his pants...
Why do you turn up with your shorts on underneath your jeans?
Because it's too hot on the tube. I don't like being on the tube with like 3 layers on.
Why didn't you come in your shorts?
I don't like being on the short. I don't like being on the tube with everyone seeing my legs.
Yeah, of course.
I don't want to be... I've got weird, knobbly knees. I don't want to having them out...
Pull your socks up like Thierry Henry above the knee. Be fine.
Right, since when have I done things like Thierry Henry? Let me like Thierry Henry. I was going to look at me on the tube and go, he's like Thierry Henry at any point. So I don't want to expose my knees.
So there you are with this 6-year-old watching you get in the...
He will laugh on the floor. He'll roll around, laugh on the floor, like proper like cartoon laughing. And he will also, anytime I'm playing...
Do you shower after badminton?
No, I just go home and shower there. Yeah, I'm not playing that risk game. But then also when I'm playing...
You take your shorts off?
When? Afterwards, yeah, and put my trousers on. Yeah, go home. I mean, my dressing habits have never been scrutinised so much. Since I wore that red dress in the bush. Also, every time I'm playing badminton, anytime I get a shot wrong, I'm doing badly. There's these windows where people can just look out onto the badminton court from upstairs in the cafe.
Yeah, like in The Graduate.
Exactly like in The Graduate, but I'll look up and it's that little kid laughing at me in the window because I did it because I'm losing at badminton, and he always does it. And eventually what happened was the women said to the guys, you can play the winner.
Oh, no, that is the last
instead of
thing
like,
you need.
we will stop and play with you now, they went, you can play the winner of this game.
Did you get the feeling they were in a relationship with the guys?
I don't think so. Because it wasn't that kind of, it wasn't like an argument, like a full-on, it was just a bit of a like, you agreed you'd play us and you haven't played us. It's like they've gone on a badminton date, and then they turn up and like, why is this not happening anymore?
More like a badge date, am I right, guys?
Didn't turn around, one of them was taking their wedding ring off or anything like that.
Just stamping on it. That's what I think of that. I won't need that anymore. So yeah, we had to, but we knew that, you know, winner plays them, and we were so much better than the ladies, and we didn't want to play the men at all. So I
threw the match.
Well, no, I was trying to throw the match. Sam is naturally competitive. And just really, also too good a player to fully lose to them.
Yeah.
Like, he couldn't do it. Every time he was trying, they were making so many mistakes.
Amazing.
And the men were there on the side, but like trying to give them advice. They had 2 times when they did a timeout and a proper huddle. A huddle, the 4 of them at the bottom, just like ways to beat these punks. Yeah. And we beat them. Yeah. And then we had to play the men. We thrashed them even easier. They were so bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad. And like, I was playing, I'm looking up at the gallery, seeing the little kid crying. I was like, you take that, you little nuisance, you Satan! Little devil!
Well, that should have ended with you kissing one of the ladies and then looking up at the little boy because he's aware that's his mother. And then one going,
you won't be coming in on me pulling my shorts up later on tonight.
That is a great
well
scrape.
done. Yeah.
Classic scrapes on XFM.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
This is Josh Widdicombe, coming to the end of the show. Earlier on, we played Mastermind because I'm doing Blur on Celebrity Mastermind in a couple of months' time, and I didn't feel that since Neil has got the sound effects, I could leave my guests out, Tom Crane and James Acaster. So I thought you should go head-to-head on Mastermind. I have chosen your specialist subject for you. You're aware of this, so should we meet the contestants, Neil?
Your name is?
Tom Crane.
Your name is?
James Acaster.
And your chosen subject?
Anthea Turner.
And your chosen subject?
Also Anthea Turner.
Okay, so I will be asking one question to each of you in order, and then Neil will be totting up the scores. Tom.
Mm-hmm. You don't. As if you do that at the beginning. What's that?
Tom.
Yes?
What is the name of Anthea Turner's first husband?
Grant Bovey.
No.
James. How many children does Anthea Turner have?
2.
No.
But anyway, I've just got Wikipedia up, so all of these may be wrong. Turner joined BBC Radio Stoke as a runner, eventually joining the breakfast show presenter Bruno Brooks as part of what?
A panic decision by the BBC.
No. It was his rap crew.
What? Bruno Brooks' rap crew?
Yeah.
Oh, dearie me. That's the only thing worse than So Solid Crew. That's incredible. Okay.
When Anthea Turner presented Top of the Pops, James,
Yes.
she was the only regular presenter not to also have which job?
A DJ.
Correct. Oh.
Yes.
Oh, point. Well done.
Oh, sweet. So unhappy.
I guess you
Okay.
got that job because of a sweet hookup with Bruno Brooks. And the rap crew.
For how many years was Anthea Turner a presenter on Blue Peter?
12 years. Is that right?
No.
Way too long.
I don't know.
What is it for 12 years?
She's about 102.
The answer was 2 years.
12 years.
Why not? It's like a premiership footballer's career.
Who does that? Who does it for 12 years?
Oh, very good.
I think by default James has won. No, let's keep going.
No, wait.
This is fun.
When she worked on GMTV, her relationship with which co-host was widely considered to be frosty?
Ooh. Eamon Holmes.
Oh, 2-0. In the career section of Anthea Turner's Wikipedia, what is the final section subtitled?
It would be adverts.
No. Career revival failure.
Bouncing back.
Okay. In the personal life section, right, this is the final question for James. You're ready to
Yep.
fill up. There was controversy after her marriage to Grant Bovey. For what reason on the wedding day?
She didn't wear a wedding dress and said she wore a snake that coiled around her body.
I know this one.
Oh. No, that's incorrect.
It's something to do with, like, they advertised chocolate.
They did. They advertised chocolate bars.
Yeah.
On the wedding day?
Yeah,
they did
the
indeed.
photo was taken with chocolate bars.
Her dress was made up. You know those massive Toblerones you buy at an airport?
No, that's...
It's all these triangles.
So I think that's 2-1 to James. Well done. There's Tom Crane's blood pressure going.
My final answer hit the net. I've got a Hawkeye now to find out.
It was 2-1, wasn't it?
To James.
Do we have a final comment from the presenter?
Thank you very much.
So, thank you very much. Congratulations, James.
Thank you.
Hard luck, Tom. That was Queens of the Stone Age on XFM, and Ivor Graham's air drumming really let him down. If you haven't been listening, we have been critiquing Ivor Graham's air drumming throughout the show. That isn't just a very strange way to start the third hour. We are also joined, as per usual, by James Acaster.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
How are you?
Very well. After seeing Ivor's air drumming, I'm a bit perturbed.
Well, James is a real drummer, so that's the problem. I felt a bit intimidated.
Well, quite intimidated.
Oh, yeah, you were fine to kind of showboat when you knew there was no one checking.
No, exactly. No one checking my rhythm.
I came right in, assessed his technique. Horrendous.
James coming in here to watch me air drumming is a bit of a busman's holiday for him. That's the problem.
For listeners that obviously can't see us, James seemingly not totally sure he's going to stay for the whole show. He's left his coat on for this.
So it's a new coat, and I'm enjoying wearing it.
It isn't. Burgundy is the colour. Is that?
Yeah. I think that's a burgundy coat.
Aubergine.
Yeah, burgundy. Let's stick with burgundy.
All right, we'll stick with burgundy.
Plum.
And what make is it?
This is crying out for tweeting a picture of the jumping game.
This is really.
Oh, it's a nice coat. So let's move on. But I mean, you combined it with trousers that I describe as mustard.
Yep. Mustard and plum. No, am I? Hugh Fairley Whittenstall. Heston Blumenthal.
Well, let's move on.
Another chef.
How's your week been, James?
All right, mate. Yeah, pretty good.
Any news?
Just been gigging it up, and went and saw my parents yesterday. That was nice.
Yeah, Dave and Diane. How was that?
Yeah, lovely. We went for dinner at my auntie and uncle's house. Very civilised affair.
This is the single worst link I've ever done on radio.
Well, it might be, but it's the nicest little chat I've had in weeks. So, it's up to you, mate.
How was your dinner at your auntie's house? I'm going to pursue it, because you've got to get somewhere.
Oh, mate, it was a smorgasbord. So here we go. Here's a bit of a rundown. Smoked salmon on one plate.
I didn't say what was it. I said how was it.
Oh, come on. You never asked me how it was.
Who's Hugh Fairley Wicks? So where's the Blumenthal?
Smoked salmon. Was I eating it or wearing it? That's the question. It was a very nice meal, yeah.
Oh, well, that's very, very good, very good. So, and any other news?
Not really. I woke up this morning to discover... you're doing about people getting locked in places, aren't you? I had the opposite. I woke up this morning and discovered my front door was wide open. I'd not locked it behind me. On my way, I just left myself open to the...
Drinking?
No, I wasn't drinking. Just got in for the lovely meal.
Yeah.
Too much
You're high on family life.
And, yeah. I woke up this morning.
Was it open?
Is it open? Open, like literally ajar. Front door was open.
I was just trying to make a jar pun then.
A jar of pesto. That's how I describe my shoes.
Josh Widdicombe Podcast XFM.
Now we are talking... Well, there's two things we're talking about. I do like when someone replies to both topics in one tweet or text. Dabnor93, 140 characters, managed to respond to two topics. One, bad birthdays. Two, I've been locked in.
Amazing. Imagine if he nailed the anyone can play guitar as well on the same tweet.
I'm guessing he was the person who was meant to jump out the cake and he couldn't get out.
Right. No, it's not, James. So, stand down. Dabnor93, I've been locked out of the changing rooms. Wait, I've been locked out of the changing rooms in an all-girls school in just my boxers.
Legend.
I don't even understand what's gone on there. I've been locked out of the changing rooms in an all-girls school in just my boxers. Too right. You shouldn't be allowed in.
Yeah, they probably locked you out when you were trying to get in.
That's not an anecdote. That's a police prop. You know, that's...
Did you imagine that this school would have some kind of birthday policy? If you had ID to prove it was your birthday, you were welcome in the all-girls changing rooms.
I'm going to guess his worst birthday was in jail.
His first birthday got food scales for my birthday. I mean...
Oh, I thought you meant the same anecdote for...
no, the anecdote doesn't respond to both, but I mean, the food scales kind of pales into insignificance to his kind of reign of nutty terror.
I like how he's glossed over the initial... You know, well,
I've been
felony.
locked out of the changing rooms in an all-girls school just in my boxers.
Definitely not a female.
Well, it might be a girl,
student,
but they don't wear boxers, do they? Girls? I mean, I don't know that much about them.
Some girls wear boxers.
Well, there we go.
But if that person could,
great insight.
If that person could tweet it again and maybe
Dabnor93. I don't know if that's a girl or a boy's name. It's difficult to judge, isn't it?
It's
no
quite.
gender.
Dabnor is quite a unisex name.
It is. If you baby Dabnor, you wouldn't know, would you?
Now Dabnor92, lady, definitely.
Ivo, can you swap that?
Not the food scales bit. I mean, that's the greatest story ever told.
Food scales. Also, I don't think it's a word.
I got locked out on. I was a couple of years ago on a university ski trip. This is my man of the people anecdote. This is my flatmate who I live with now as well. So when I told him this morning that I was coming on radio, and the topic was getting locked out of places, he looked at me and he said, "Oh ho, you've got quite the story for that one," which is when we were rooming together on a ski trip and we hosted a party.
He said, "Oh ho, who are you living with?"
That is not a surprise, come on. I imagine he had a little pipe.
Oh, come on, James, that's not, a cravat, not in your plum jacket. And we hosted a party before we went out to a club. But I went to the loo just as everyone was leaving for the club.
Oh, no.
And then came out of the loo to find the room empty, everyone having left, and locked the door from the outside. And it was like you couldn't unlock it from the inside. So I had to stay at home and polish off the rest of the booze. Why not?
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. While everyone was out clubbing, and when my flatmate came back the following day and I complained about it, he suggested that the best solution would have been to jump off the balcony. Where, admittedly, there was quite a hefty snowdrift beneath the gate, but we were on the 3rd floor, so it would have been a risky game, I think.
I mean, it would be some party if you turned up to it having jumped 3 floors out of a window.
That'd be one of those stories that you'd be so excited about arriving at a club to tell, but no one would want to listen to. That's the problem.
They would have been quite if they arrived home just to see Ivo's legs sticking out of the snow, pile of snow.
And a locked door. How did he get there? It's kind of a really weak episode of Jonathan Creek, that, but...
You know what I'm going to say, Josh? Never seen Jonathan Creek.
Unbelievable.
Love them turning up. Oh ho! Ivo's ended up face down in the snow, fellows.
Oh, maybe he said aha. I'm sorry. I don't know if, didn't realise it was going to be jumped on to this.
Well,
twiddly-dee!
Let's move on from this kind of class attack. I feel like, I thought Britain was a classless society till James Acaster and Ivo Graham turned up to the radio show.
Red James comes in with his agenda.
In the building currently, there is a radio show with David Mellor and Ken Livingstone, because we often see them, but it's not as...
Acaster's walked into the wrong room again.
So, any more on those? Keep them coming in. Any of those subjects we discussed, plum jackets, class warfare, those kind of things.
All I'm saying, James, is your script there better be bloody gritty.
Josh Whittaker Podcast, XFM.
It's time, James, as always at about 12:30 on a Saturday, for Football Focus.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
No, it is time for your classic scrape.
Yes.
What do you have for us today? A one from the library or one from the present day?
It's one from the library, Josh.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a few years
Filed
ago.
under S for scrape.
S for scrape, yep. It was also I'd completely forgotten about this, and a friend reminded me of it the other day, so I was quite pleased to be. This is about during my first year of stand-up, and I got booked to do a Christian festival. Now, this is nothing against, just heads up, nothing against Christians, this entire story, at all. But I'd been booked to do it, and it's quite a hippie-ish festival. Quite a good festival, actually. Quite nice. I enjoyed it. But
were there bands on as well?
There was bands, and there was performance poetry, and there was plays and comedy, and there's all sorts. There was Christian.
So all I'm thinking is that episode of Peep Show where he goes to one and there are people getting baptised outside there.
Yeah, there was no one getting baptised. Okay. It was at Cheltenham Racecourse. So
the most holy of all places.
Yeah. Horses are all devout Christians.
Yeah.
So it was very nice. And there was this chai tea tent where they had like people doing like open mic. No, a chai tea.
Oh, chai tea.
Tai chi. I mean, the two have been regularly confused, but both are relaxing and good for the soul. So they're doing chai tea.
Yeah.
But then in the corner there was a stage where it's like open mic, you could sign up to do something. So I went in there just to watch for a bit, and there was
oh god.
There was a
who was also there, actually.
God was there, and is here, Josh. There was a lady watching it who standing in front of me, who wanted to sign up to perform, and she was speaking to the promoter, but she went, but you know, I really need a percussionist. And
James, no.
As we've already covered on the show.
Why?
Well, my friend Matt was with me, and he went, my friend's a drummer, and I was like, he went, come on, how about you? And she was like, yep, okay, well, you can do it later on today, 4 hours time, come back here, and you can do percussion for this lady. I was like, that's fine. So I went away and realised I hadn't got any percussion instruments on me. I hadn't bought anything, so I had to go around.
2 spoons don't cost anything, mate.
I just go around talking to people, and I got myself one of those egg shakers, those shakers that look like an egg.
Yeah.
So I got myself that, and that was all I could muster in time.
Brilliant.
As if by magic. I mean, the listeners can't see that. That is an egg shaker.
Been waiting for this story for years.
Yeah.
Carry this around with me.
Dave's got one of those BBC sound effects CDs.
So this is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, when I did my didgeridoo story, nothing.
I can't believe it's here. So, there was also a load of sexy ladies. So I turned up. I turned up at chai tea tent later on with my egg shaker. With my egg shaker, just shaking in my pocket. That's like this is how fast I was walking. Looked at my watch. I only 2 minutes to get there. Don't want to let her down. There's a bit of a queue getting in.
It's not going to top that.
I waited outside chai tea tent, and then she turns up. This lady now she's changed her clothes since I saw her, and she's now wearing like kind of a massive like a Technicolor of the Dream coat kind of thing. And she's also got an arm full of coat hangers, about 20 coat hangers in her arms, like carrying them in her arms. And I said, hello. She's like, right. And then she didn't even say, like, I'll explain these. We just went straight into it. You ready? We went in, and we had to sit. There was the stage, and on the stage was a table that she had moved there. So we sat at this table, and then she went, do you want to start? All right. I said, are we just making it up? And she's like, yeah, just make it up. I like to jam. Like, okay. I admit it. I can't see any instruments that she's brought with her. I've made more effort than her, and it was sprung on me. So I started just... It's a pretty good beat to start off with, right? Yeah, pretty nice beat.
I'm drumming along already.
So I'm looking at her. I'm waiting for her, and then she stands up with the coat hangers in her arms, and she holds them above her head, and then she throws all 20 coat hangers at the table really hard at the table, so they've all like this big clang, and then she starts going with her lips, like
I wasn't thinking she was farting.
No, she wasn't. The listeners can't see what I was doing. That was with her lips, like very much like one of the horses which would be running around the tracks of Cheltenham all year round. So she was doing that, and then she slammed both hands on top of the coat hangers onto the table. and started moving them around on the
Were you still shaking?
I was still keeping I was still keeping a 4/4 rhythm to this. Not even like going into 7/8 or some
Meg White
crazy
didn't
time.
take a day off, even when Jack White's improvising.
Yeah. I was like, keep it steady, because keep the beat. She'll probably come. It's a jazz. She'll come back in with it. So she starts moving the coat hangers around like she's shuffling cards.
What's
on
the audience doing at this point?
Well, you see, the audience are the audience. They're sitting there drinking chai tea and chatting, and we're ruining their vibe. Yeah. So like they're turning around and looking, going, "What's going on?" Yeah. She's mixing up the
John
coat
Bonham
hangers.
and Mistress Quickly over here.
the coat hangers are like making this like sound as they're going around the table, and then the only lyrics she started shouting. Reflective surfaces. and then the only other lyric was conjoined twins. That was it. So she started shouting those two over and over again while she was doing that. And then she started making.
Why did she need a rhythm section?
I have no idea. Why.
Bit of mainstream cred.
She thought she had to. Clearly, she must have done this at some. I didn't even speak to her afterwards, so I don't know. We literally got up and she went thanks, and then she got the. And walked away.
Picked up her instrument, put it in the box.
Yeah, I mean, it went on for a long time. And
at no point did she pick up a coat hanger and try and tune it.
Just like, hold on, this one's a bit flat. She was doing loads of different noises over the top of the. She was slamming the coat hangers down on the table.
Was your mate in the room?
My mate was really laughing, really, really proud of himself. Slamming the coat hangers down. At one point, she just kept on going. Over and over again. The song ended when I dropped the egg. And then
Why did you drop the egg?
I dropped it because I just couldn't be bothered anymore. and also because she had gone into this state where she had her eyes closed, she had her hands on the coat hangers and wasn't moving anymore, and was just. Well, she was moving. She was doing this thing where she was spinning her head in a circle and making no noise. So I was like, well, I think the song is over. So I dropped the egg. And then I walked out. I was walking back to my tent in a bit of a daze, and I saw there was this tree that had like no leaves on it, but it's like a small tree about my height with loads of branches coming off of it, and then a picture next to it. And apparently this tree was an art exhibition at the festival. Yeah. And the photo next to the tree was of the tree with a coat hanger hanging off of every branch. But the coat hangers weren't on this tree anymore. And literally later on, my friend said he saw her put the coat hangers back on the tree. And she clearly nicked them off of a work of art on the way to the chai tea tent.
What the hell was going on?
I don't know. To this day, I don't understand what was going on.
One short at the egg shaker display as well.
Yeah. Also, yeah, the egg and spoon thing.
Still the best band you've ever been in, there.
Yeah. Still, like we've got more people watching us than any other band.
That is
amazing.
How did you forget that?
I can't believe. I don't know how I forgot that story. And my friend just reminded me of it.
Just hang up a coat.
They said, yeah, hang up a coat. I had a vicious flashback.
Oh God. Wow. Now, you said that story wasn't going to be anti-Christian. I can't imagine many atheists listening and going, it's time to convert.
I do love coat hangers.